Hi friends, it's Sarah from Ruffles and Rainboots.com, and today we're making a requested Christmas Highland cow. If you'd like to make it, just boop, stick around. Sorry, I was outside and the wind was blowing him around. Please like this video so I know you're here crafting with me. So here is a good quick look at this guy. We have made clay horns and snouts, and I'm going to be using this. So I was cleaning up for Berry and Pine, my Christmas YouTube channel. I was cleaning up gold foil, and then I thought, why? I'm going to use Crayola's Model Magic. I'm such a klutz. And I'm going to create horns and a snout with wire. You can use air dry clay. You can use polymer clay. I'm just using this because I had it really close. And look, I can absorb all of the mess on my craft space. So I'm going to split this in half, and then I'm just going to start rolling it both in my hands and to grab all of these flakes. It's a little hard to see on camera, but these are very, very sparkly in person. So in addition to these supplies, you'd actually need some Mod Podge as well in order to seal this, which I did off camera. But I'm just going to be rolling this into a snake, tapering down each of the ends. Now mine are about a little less than 2 inches because I do have them curving up, but so it's not very big, but you can make them as big or as thin as you want. Just make sure that they don't come too close to a point at the ends. If you are shipping them, the thinner they are, the more they break off. So here we have these ends are going to turn up, but not yet because we're going to need this wire. I am using a very, very stiff wire you can get at the home improvement stores. This is a 14 gauge ook. You can also get it on Amazon. And I'm just turning the clay onto that wire, making sure it's on about 1 inch or so. Now this part here doesn't have to be exact. I eyeballed it and it turns out it was correct, but yours is obviously going to be a little different. So just repeat that with both of them. And then if you want, you can add whatever decorations you want. Like if you want to press in some Christmas lights or whatever, you could do that. Now, make the indentation, and you are going to have to glue it because Model Magic, along with most types of clay, will actually shrink when it dries. So even though you're going to make a form for it, you're still going to have to probably glue it. So I'm going to set those aside and just put that over here. So it'll be a couple days, or I won't get to this for a couple days. It's usually dry in about 24. With the other piece, I just shaped it into sort of a lopsided oval, and I have all these little pieces because I mostly cleaned up my desk with the horns. So now I'm just going to roll it in here and just rough off any edges. There you go. Look, doesn't have to be perfect, just has to be done. Now for this one, we are going to need another bit of wire. You can use 1 piece to fix this in, but I'm going to use 2, and I'm going to eyeball that. I have to cut it down later. It's not as good as my horns. Anyway, we're just going to create 2 of those, and you're going to bend the ends, and I would bend them just a little bit because you're going to have to bend them. Well, I didn't, but I've done this before many times. So you can see it's not a 90-degree angle. It's just maybe a 45 degree angle. It's not very much at all. And then I'm going to have 2 of those. Later we'll cut them off, but we're just creating the spaces for them now. So I just messed up that shape, so I'm just going to get that. Now I'm going to use my air dry clay to hold this in place, but then I remembered we are going to make indentations for the little nostrils. So you can use beads. I just happen to have these from a different Highland cow set and a doll that I did for something else. So I'm going to use these. They're just doll eyes. They come with the snout. You get them on Amazon. There's tons of different sizes in there. It's really cute. Great for stuffed animals. And I'm just going to press these in on either side, but just know, even though they will dry in place, we're going to pull them out. So once I set those off to side to dry, they dried, and then I coated them all in Mod Podge. I cut a 4.5 inch piece of pool noodle. You can see I got it at the Dollar Tree. Now this fur is not from the Dollar Tree. You can use any fur you'd like. Some rocks from the Dollar Tree, a wood round ornament. And then here you can see my pieces. Again, as I mentioned, I already Mod Podge coated these so that the gold foil A stays bright and it doesn't come off in our hands. And then you can see I pulled the little black things out so I could Mod Podge that. And we're just going to stick them back in, but later we'll glue them. This is, I think, an Elf on the Shelf hat that's been floating around my Christmas stuff, so it's only a couple inches. And then I got those at the hobby of all the lobbies. No, the lobby of all the hobbies. And I'm going to use them for decoration. Some people's hot glue melts their Dollar Tree pool noodles. If that's the case, just apply the apply the hot glue here to the wood round. Mine doesn't, so I don't know what that means. I'm just going to stick it on here. You're not going to see this wood round. I just prefer to have something pretty sturdy that it's mounted on. Then I'm going to add some glue, add some rocks, add some glue, add some rocks, but I'm going to be sure to stay about an inch away from the top, just in case our little wires need to go into that section. And that's it. And then the last one here on top, push it down, move it to the side. So this faux fur has a drop. If you are new to cutting faux fur, it's easy, but be sure you account for this drop just to cover the wood round. Otherwise, it'll be dangling on the floor or table. As for the height, you're going to cut it off at the top of the pool noodle. And the width, you're just going to, this is the technical way of doing it. You roll it around and mark it in place with your finger. And it's very technical. And then you're just going to cut it with the hot glue gun. No, cut it with the X-Acto knife. But when you do that, you get a beautiful little edge, and this join will disappear completely. So now that I have the height, I'm just going to cut that straight across. Okay, straight-ish across. It's not exactly perfect. And then I'm going to glue it on. The only thing I'd give a tip here is make sure you get the edges pretty well so that nothing lifts. Top, bottom, sides, and you're good. And then just literally roll it on. There's no need to be particular. If you are looking for something to sell over the holiday season, sometimes these do really, really well. It just depends on where you are. So I'm just going to continue that and roll it all the way around, doing the exact same thing. I do hold it in place for a couple seconds. The last little piece here, I move the left side fur out of the way and press this in, and this will absolutely disappear. This seam back here. And then I always go around the very top just to pull it apart and make sure, if it's detached right here, I go ahead and get that on there so it's permanently affixed. For the top, I call it a toupee, the poor little cow. You just want to make sure your piece can cover the whole top of it with the front turned down. So we are going to hide this fabric edge seam. So whatever that looks like for you and your cow is whatever it looks like for you and your cow. Now the dimensions of all of ours are going to be a little bit different because of the actual type of fur that we're creating and the type of fur we're creating with and that pile. So you can see here just 1/4 of an inch over. It's not a big deal. Just like that. Now it will go on top, but we're not ready yet. I'm going to size where I want these. Let me turn this to the side. I put the little toupee on. Okay. Don't make fun of me that I'm calling it a toupee. A hairpiece? I don't really know what to call it. The top? Anyway, I put it on to make sure I get an idea of where I want that to be. And then I'm going to take my X-Acto knife. I'm going to split the fur to the fabric backing, pulling up, down, inside, away from it. And then I just poke the pool noodle with the stick. I know, it's a very technical project. And then we just stick it in. But I am going to add glue in here. Mine were a very good fit, but I'm just going to go ahead and add glue just to make sure, just to be sure. So you can see, I thought I was going to have to cut it down, but nope, it fits perfectly in there. And I'm going a little slow, but we want to make sure that it's flush with our pool noodle. And then we'll just split it and add some hot glue into the hole and press it down. And I do hold that for a little bit while it dries as well. All right, so I'm going to do the other side, and then I have to stand it up because I have literally no depth perception in my brain. So I stand it up, get an idea of where it should be, and then do the exact same steps on the other side. And you have a couple seconds to wiggle it, so in case that you want to turn it, you're good. And that's his little horns. Isn't that hilarious? I really like the gold flake, which again is hard to see on camera, but it looks good in person. As for the snout, I'm going to pull these out, pop in a little bit of hot glue, and pop them back in. So do that with both of them. Now, as I mentioned, I'm going to have to cut the wires down. So if you don't have them, go grab your wire cutters. And then I had to go grab my wire cutters. And then we're going to wipe off any hot glue that seeped out. I had a little bit because I overglued. And now I'm just going to cut these down after I get an idea of where I want it, because I do need to make sure it goes into the center of the pool noodle. And so I just make sure I get it all in place with my hairpiece in place. I don't know, but I'm just making sure it covers up all of the white of the pool noodle. And then we will get an idea here. Again, I'm just going to cut off a little bit so that these stay in place. And I am going to glue those. It's so hard to pull them out. Mine were very hard to pull out, but I want to make sure I get them in there and they stay. All right, so I do both of these, and then I'm going to do the exact same thing on the front of the pool noodle as well. The front of the cow as well as we did before. But I am going to go ahead and glue down my hairpiece. If you're a hot glue gun, I get this all the time. If your hot glue gun melts the Dollar Tree pool noodles, just put the glue on the hairpiece. Okay. And I do hold that in place. I also check each side to make sure those are down and the back, and just make sure I just hold it in place so it stays. All right, so now for this little guy, I'm not going to poke it in, but I am going to say where I want to press it in, split the fur. And then I got a phone call, so I don't show the glue going in, but I do the exact same process. I put holes here. I press it in to make sure I get it into the right place and I don't have to cut my wire down anymore. And once that's in place, I got to move that one over. Once that's in place, I just pull it out and hot glue, put it back in. So that's how mine's going to be, but you can see my phone. I have to go get a call. So I'm back at it now. Sorry. On this little hat, I put a little tiny bit of stuffing in there just because it's kind of flat. So I'm just going to put a little tiny stuffing. I'm remarking at all the gold foil on me. Anyway, it's going to go on the top little guy, but I want to put these down first. The Hobby Lobby has these, and it's probably my favorite Christmas find because I end up using these on everything, like just in a little display, when I give flowers, whatever it may be through the holiday season. These little string lights, they're in the, what do you call it? Like the mini tree section, the mini Christmas tree section. Love that section. And I'm just going to glue these on either side. I'm just going to make it, and just hiding them under the fur basically. But I hold those on either side until they're set. And then I cut another little one to go over it just because they're pretty far spaced. And I tried gluing like a little loop in it, but you could see the glue. And I didn't like that on a different project, not on this project, but I didn't like that. So I'm just going to glue those in place and get those draped over his little head. And to attach the hat, I'm going to split the fur on the top to the fabric backing. And that way it'll give me the strongest join right here against this fabric. You can see it. And then I'm going to pull up where the edge of the hat is in the back. And I'm going to do that as well. So it just gives you a little bit more stability. And all this little hair, I'm just going to pop up into the top of the hat. Because you can see there's a little stuffing in there. But look at that. Oh, it doesn't stay on its own, so let's glue it, shall we? You can add the glue right here, or you can add the glue around the edge of the hat, whatever floats your fancy, whatever floats your boat. I really loved working with the gold foil and did a ton of crafts for my Christmas channel, Berry and Pine. I hope you join me over there. It's super fun. I haven't shared that video yet, but this is done. I absolutely think he's adorable, but I would love to hear what you think. Let me know down in the comments below if you'd make him. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more crafty fun.